Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the technical difficulty. The stadium has their lights off, and we're waiting for the big lights to come on before we resume the game. So back to Rohan. What can we expect from Mitty based off of their current season this year?
Yeah, Mitty has had a pretty good season so far. In the rankings, they're 7th in CCS and 24th in the SF Metro region, as I mentioned earlier. And they are 3-0 to start the season off. But it's good to mention that they played some pretty low-ranked teams in their journey so far. They played James Logan and beat them 20-12. James Logan is currently 0-4, and they're ranked 333rd in the state. They then played Aptos and won 41-28. Aptos is 1-3 and 311th in the state so far. And they completely wow up Santa Teresa 35-0, who are 1-3 and 524th in the state. Essentially, they have played some low-ranked teams, but it is still a very good start to the season as they are 3-0. Some players to mention in this strong start to the season is their QB, Joey Campagna. As a junior, he's pretty experienced already with 5 touchdowns in 3 games, and we're definitely going to look forward to see what he will do today against a stronger defense in St. Francis. Not to mention as well their running back, AJ Senazol, who has shown to be the bulk of their offense so far, with 310 yards in their last 2 games for Mitty. And a good question to know is to see who will lead in production today for the rushing attack, Senazol for the Monarchs or Kayanina for the Lancers. Now back to Ishan to talk about St. Francis' season so far and how they fare against Mitty.
Yeah, as Rohan was saying, Mitty is 7th in CCS. St. Francis is 3rd in CCS. And in St. Francis Metro, St. Francis is 9th. So for St. Francis, we're going to be expecting a lot of Kingston Kiana. He's averaging 128.7 yards per game this season. He's been the focal point of the offense for the St. Francis Lancers. Mac Maroka is the leading receiver on the team, but he's only averaging about 30 yards per game because the Lancers have not been throwing the ball as much. And a surprise player, Andrew Scherenberg, has come on in his senior year, having a big game against De La Salle last week. And our leading tackler, Case Cahoon, averaging 16.7 tackles per game, and a big game last game against Mitty, or De La Salle, with 15 tackles.
I want to go back to Andrew Scherenberg for a moment, guys. We saw last game that he's kind of like that X factor, as Rohan mentioned 2 weeks ago, and he's averaging 48.3 yards per game. And I just want to talk to you guys about and ask, like, since Mitty is not as good as De La Salle and Helix, are we going to see more Scherenberg, or since they used Scherenberg quite a lot against a very high-ranking team, and we were not expecting that, and I think. Personally, I think that the Scherenberg and Mac Maroka and players other than Kiana are going to be used much more than we've seen before.
Yeah, in our previous matchups, the games have been a lot more high scoring, so we're going to see a lot of offense in this game. So I think we're going to get a decent split in the carries between Kingston and Andrew Scherenberg, but we'll see in this game how it goes.
Yeah, the lowest ranked team we've played so far is Monterey Trail. They were ranked 123rd in the state versus De La Salle, who was 19th, and Helix at 18th. At that game, St. Francis produced 28 points on offense, which is the most they've had so far this season. Looking at Mitty now, who is not so far in the rankings compared to Monterey Trail, there's going to be a lot of scoring here from the Lancers. Whether it be passing or rushing, there's going to be some players that can really lead that bulk of the offense, and I think Scherenberg, who's had a big X factor in this offense, he can get a lot of spotlight tonight.
However, I do want to talk about Monterey Trail for a second, just because they're similar in rankings to Mitty. Monterey Trail, in the game when they played against St. Francis was like they were dominating the field until the 4th quarter, where they just made those mistakes. Do you think we're going to see something similar? Because I think St. Francis has handled the teams that are lower ranked than them well so far, pretty well.
Yeah, I totally agree, Sanjeet. I feel like we have the confidence to go against a team that's lower ranked than us, as shown through Monterey Trail, and we'll see some players really shine tonight.
Yeah, even in the games against our tougher matchups, St. Francis has been very competitive in the first half, and then in the second half, it does not go as well. So we can expect a more competitive first half, and hopefully the Lancers can keep it going for the second half and come out with the win tonight.
Now, I want to highlight a player that Ishan briefly talked about that had a really good highlight last game. Number 32, Mac Mroka. He had an insane catch last game against De La Salle, and has honestly been the Lancers' most reliable receiver so far this season. So I have a quick question to ask you two. What is the deep pass potential in this offense tonight? Are we going to see some risky plays that involves more deep passing to Mroka or the new receiver on the field, Barlich? Or should we stick to the RPO where we keep K9 there as the bulk of the offense?
Yeah, I think this game we're going to see a lot more throws. I mean, against De La Salle, we opened up the offense a lot more. Aaron Knapp was involved a lot more, much more throws against De La Salle than versus Monterey Trail or in our first game against Helix. So we might see some deep passes, but I think we still will get a lot of Kingston Kiana and Andrew Sherberg. They have been the best players on our offense this year, so we'll see.
So the biggest thing to mention is that the Monarchs and the Lancers have a long rivalry. Here are the past 3 games that have happened in the last 2 years between the Lancers and the Monarchs. 2 years ago, when St. Francis was one of the best teams in WCAL and even the state, and the Monarchs were 1-9. The Lancers were dominant in that game against the Monarchs. They won 45-0 in 2021. Last year was a little bit rougher. There was a key loss by just 1 point in the playoffs last year, 41-42, on a very crucial missed hold on the last kick of the game. As the Monarchs come on the field now, and not to mention the regular season last year, the Lancers did win against the Monarchs 35-13. So the rivalry here is pretty intense. It's very back and forth, and even with the rankings and the stats being shown, it is still going to be a very close and exciting matchup tonight.
I do want to point out something about the environment here. Obviously, we expect on the home side, a lot of St. Francis students, a lot of parents, but even on the Mitty side, on the away side, they have a whole student section. You can probably hear them in the background, super loud, and I think we haven't seen this environment before here this year, and I think that's going to play a factor into the game as well.
Exactly. The rivalry here is also shown by the intense rivalry in the home crowd and the away crowd as well. Obviously, Mitty and St. Francis are rivals in just general schools, so we haven't seen away crowds this big in other schools we've played in the past.
And here's the national anthem.
And with that, we are underway.
So, we've talked about some of the Lancers' key players. What about the Monarchs? What can we expect from some of their key players, some of their MVPs?
Yeah, Mitty has a rebuilt, rebranded roster that has really shown strong in their season so far. The head of the pack is Joey Campagna, their QB, who is shown to be very poised and experienced with 5 touchdowns already in 3 games. And the running back, AJ Senazol, has 310 yards in 2 games rushing, with, not to mention also, an 83-yard rushing touchdown in their last game against Santa Teresa. He is a very capable running back who is going to be very deadly there, number 6 in the field. A lot of key players on the defensive side have also shown out to be very deadly to the other offenses. The biggest player on the defense is Salia Talon, who has 16 tackles in 3 games, and a couple of tackles for losses too, and a sack. He's been everywhere on the field for the Monarchs on defense, and he might have some really key plays against the Lancers offense this game. A lot of combo players have also shown out for the Monarchs. This includes Toju Maku, Billy Hutton, among others. Billy Hutton has 48 yards and a touchdown on offense and 13 tackles on defense. He's a true key player for the general scheme for the Monarchs. Toju Maku has 80 yards and a touchdown and 11 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a sack on defense. These 2 players are like the Travis Hunters of the Monarchs. They are everywhere, and the Lancers should basically fear these 2 players on the field.
And I think I want to point something, I think something worth knowing going into the game, something about Kiana Aina. Specifically about Kiana Aina's performance against Mitty last year in that playoff game. Personally, as a spectator, all I saw was Kiana Aina running and getting those points for St. Francis. That is, especially in those in overtime, all they were doing was running Kiana Aina into the end zone. I think that shows a lot about how St. Francis has changed. But that's also to keep something in mind because Kiana Aina's back as a junior, better, I think more fit and more game sense, and Mitty has a new lineup, so I think that's something to watch out.
Yeah, I want to talk about the kickers. I mean, Chris Hahn on the year, he's perfect on the extra points and 5 of 6 on field goals, with his long being 39 yards this year. While for the Monarchs, Malone Nate, he is 12 of 14 on his extra points and 0 for 1 on his field goals this year. So we'll see. I mean, 3 points, it could matter in these games. I mean, these games have been very close with the Monarchs. It's a huge rivalry match. We'll see how close this game gets.
God who is always and everywhere present to us. Let us enter into our prayer by marking ourselves in the very name of the God, the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Let us pray, loving God, bless the communities of Archbishop Mitty and of St. Francis High School, and of all of us gathered here, students, athletes, coaches, parents, fans. Keep us freed from injury as we compete today. Remind us of our mutual mission to love and respect one another. And let us join together the prayer that Jesus, our brother and Lord, gave to us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us. Saint Francis of Assisi, pray for us. May blessing come upon you all, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And with that, we are underway in just a few minutes between the Monarchs and the Lancers. The Rage Cage is fully packed tonight.
The sun setting on this beautiful day. has already set. Got some orange streaks in the sky. We got a beautiful, possibly a waning moon. Not really sure, but it looks quite bright today. That's for sure. Here are the 4 captains on each side, ready to meet in the middle.
We barely glossed over this, but there's a new player, or back from injury player, on the Lancers, and that's Luke Barlich. What have we seen from him in the past, and what can we expect from him tonight? And what do we want to see in addition to the offense of the Lancers?
Yeah, I mean, he's a new receiver added to this lineup, and I think he'll help with getting more yards in the passing game. He'll help Aaron Knapp as another trustworthy target for him. It'll just be a great addition for the lineup. I mean, you can never hurt to have more targets.
From his stats junior year 2022-2023 season, he doesn't seem to have much. He does seem to have been on the bench for most of the time, so it's hard to tell what he can do and what he can contribute to the team, especially since he's not been playing for these last couple of games. But I'm sure if St. Francis is playing him like on the starting drives, that they trust him and that they know that he has some sort of contribution to the Lancers offense here today.
It's all about the senior mentorship, and some of the better wide receivers on the Lancers are sophomores, and any senior mentorship is really helpful in this emerging team, and Barlich is definitely one of those guys who can help out and be a leader for this roster. Some other players to mention as well for the Lancers include the Cahoons. We kind of glossed over this already, but Chase Cahoon, the sophomore rising on the defense, had 21 tackles against Monterey Trail and 15 against De La Salle. As a sophomore, he is one of the top-ranked linebackers in the state. So he's not obviously your ordinary sophomore on this team, and he's making a big presence for the Lancers. What can we expect from him today?
Yeah, Case Cahoon, he's going to have to stop the run game for the Monarchs and also make sure the passing game does not get many yards.
Yeah, and we saw against De La Salle that he had some huge tackles in that first half, but where was he in that second half, though? And that's where it really mattered, where they were down and it was a one-possession game, and that's when they needed that defense.
Yeah, the game's about to start. Mitty's going to get the ball first. Chris Hahn's going to kick it away. And we'll see what the Monarchs offense looks like on their first drive.
One of the returners on the Monarchs is Billy Hutton, the do-it-all player on both offense, defense, and kick returning. So we'll see how this is going to roll on the first play of the game between the Monarchs and the Lancers. All are set. And we are underway.
The ball is muffed. The ball is on the ground. It's still on the ground. And it looks like the Lancers might have recovered it. The Lancers are celebrating. The Lancers might have recovered the ball. The refs are saying the Lancers have it.
Wow, just wow. I think that was number 6 right there. Senezal, the running back that we had just said was the bulk of the offense for the Monarchs. What just happened there?
Yeah, correction, that was Maku Tokyo with the muff punt there. And yeah, I mean, big game, and I guess just dropped the ball there, and Lancers offense in great field position to start the game. Can't have started this game any better for the Lancers right here.
These are the plays that will make the biggest difference by the end of the day. First play for the Lancers offense.
It's a handoff to Kingston Kayana, and he's going to get about 3 yards here.
K. Nina has been the bulk of the Lancers offense in the last 3 games, tallying hundreds of yards in rushing attack. Here we see him already get a short burst on that quick play right there.
Second goal at the 5. Let's see what the Lancers run here in the I formation. It's another handoff to Kingston. He's bouncing into the outside. Stiff arms. Looks like he's lost a couple of yards.
And that's a great tackle there by number 9, Caden Allard. He is one of the players that show up on both offense and defense, as a lot of the players in the Monarchs are. And barely gets a yard there for the Lancers offense. And now we have a 3rd down. Crucial for this first drive of the game.
Yeah, Rohan, what do you expect to see here from the Lancers?
I think, honestly, anything could happen. They have K9 in the backfield. I think they'll fake it and maybe do a pass. Indeed, they did fake it, but a whistle is called. And Aaron Knapp has really seen a lot more passing action in the last 3 games. Didn't have that many attempts in the first game against Helix, but slowly has found a pocket. He had some really good throws to Roca and Perryon Williams in the last 2 games. And we'll see what he can do if he decides to go for a passing play here.
That was an offsides right there by the Monarchs. The Lancers get to move the ball half the distance to the goal, and it looks like it'll be 3rd and about 3.5 yards.
I say they go for a run here. 3rd and 3.
Lancers in the I formation. Moroka and Grant Rihelis on to the outsides. It's a throw. It's a fade to Rihelis. It's a touchdown, Lancers!
And what a throw, what a catch, what a passing play to cap off this first drive. Unsure who the receiver is. I think it was number 10, Perryon Williams. If so, that was a great read by the receiver there. Totally hauled it over the cornerback guarding him. And just 3 minutes into this game, the Lancers get on the board. 6-0, Lancers to Monarchs. And that's number 9 there, gonna complete the PAT. Chris Hahn is, so far, perfect on his extra points.
And the kick is good. 7-0 Lancers to start this game. It's a quick start for the Lancers. Let's see what the Monarchs do in response.
I want to talk about Lancers on 3rd down. Against De La Salle, we saw so many 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 6s, 3rd and 7s, and they in that first half they were always getting those first downs, whether it was by run, some sort of screen pass, some sort of just throw down the field, and it was working. And here they did it again. I mean, they throw it out to Perryon Williams. Perryon Williams completely had the defender bamboozled. His head was turned. He didn't even know where the ball was. And Perryon Williams grabbed it over his head. Fantastic catch. What do you guys think about that drive? I mean, it was a great one for sure.
Yeah, it was a great fade pass thrown by Aaron Knapp and perfectly placed for Perryon Williams to receive it. The cornerback couldn't have got it even if he tried. I mean, it was perfectly high pointed for Perryon Williams. And yeah, as you were saying, on 3rd downs, I mean, when you're in 3rd and medium, it's a lot easier. I mean, when the Lancers get backed up and lose some yardage on 1st and 2nd down, 3rd downs get a lot tougher. So getting in 3rd and 5s is a must for the Lancers.
I think it's also important to note the key mistakes that were made by the Monarchs in the first 3 minutes of the game. First, that fumble or that missed catch by Senezal, and then that flag, too, on 3rd and 7 to make it 3rd and 3 for that touchdown.
Now we'll see the Monarchs offense on the field after this kick.
Senezal has been replaced on the returning end, actually. That is Ethan McCombie for the return. Doesn't get much off of that. And the Monarchs will finally start their first drive.
Yeah, they're starting at the 36-yard line. It's pretty good field position for the Monarchs to start their first drive. We'll see their quarterback, Joey Campagna, out here for the first time. Let's see what he can do tonight.
Yeah, I've mentioned Campagna has really led the offense in passing here. He had 5 passing touchdowns in 3 games. He's very capable of throwing the ball, and we'll see what happens on this drive.
Mitty in shotgun with the back lined up behind the quarterback.
Quick play action. Correction, just quick rush. Senezal got a couple yards there. We had mentioned the comparison between Senezal and K9. They're both very capable running backs. So we'll see what happens with this drive again with Senezal there.
Yeah, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8. It's another, looks like it was a quarterback read, and the Lancers had stuffed that play out perfectly. They had no options there. Great defense right there by the D-line.
And that's, again, one of the Cahoons, Jackson Cahoon this time, just quickly got the ankles of Senezal. Correction, the quarterback, Campagna. Very, very quick on the 3rd down right there, 3rd and 12.
3rd and 12. Expecting a pass here. Low snap. It's a comeback route, and it's incomplete. This has been a perfect start for the Lancers so far. They got a 3 and out, got a touchdown on their first drive, and they'll get the ball right back. That was great coverage right there by Joseph Paul.
Very surprising start to the game. Lancers came strong, and the Monarchs couldn't really match that opportunity. Muffed punt there.
Short kick. And it'll be down at around the 43-yard line.
And another good start. Another good start for the Lancers there. Close to midfield already on the 2nd drive.
That's the defense we saw coming out against De La Salle early on, all the way until the half. Against De La Salle, we saw that defense kind of deteriorating towards the second part of that second quarter, and then in that second half, they just had nothing against De La Salle's running back. But I think they know what to do this time and keep it all throughout the game.
Yeah, quickly, the defense was on the field a lot that game. They did get worn out, and this game is looking a lot different. Kiana going to the back. They dump it off to Kiana, and he is getting no yards there. The Monarchs had that read perfectly. That is Allard Hayden on the tackle right there.
Good tackle for loss there by Allard. Just a quick note, they have number 17 as ball in the lineup for the Lancers. That's Joey Paulson. Didn't have that many plays on offense in the last 3 games so far, but they're trusting him to produce for the Lancers here this game. We saw a lot more of Pierre Williams, Alatini, Mac Maroka. Now to see Joey Paulson there as well. Another good weapon for the Lancers.
Lancers in the shotgun formation. Scherenberg is the back. It's a handoff to Scherenberg. And he looks like they only got 2 yards there. And as you were saying, Sanjeet, they were in a lot of 3rd and mediums before. This is going to be a 3rd and long, 3rd and about 9 yards. What do we expect here, Rohan?
I'd say it has to be a pass. And they do have K9 back out for Scherenberg. Not sure what the plan is here. They could do a small check down pass to K9 and let him run on the sideline for that. That has worked a couple of times in their favor in the last couple games. But we'll see what happens now on this 3rd and 10.
In the shotgun, 4 receivers outside. Looked like he was trying to set up a screen pass.
And Knapp.
I don't know what happened at all.
Knapp got trunked there, and the flag was there on the field.
Yeah, there's a flag
right
on the
after
play. Likely a forward lateral pass. I also think I saw some illegible people downfield. There seems to be a lot of penalties right there on the Lancers.
Quick
They were
mention of the linebacker there on Knapp. That's Owen Harrington right there. He's one of the leaders on the defense in tackles with 10 in 3 games. He also has a couple of tackle for losses too. One of the producers on defense for the Monarchs. And it seems to be a turnover on downs at the end of the day. Correction again. A 4th down.
Chris Hahn out to punt it. And that's Hudden Billy back to receive.
Strong
Good
punt.
Looks like he'll be down at around the 11-yard line. And the defense will be back on the field for the Lancers.
One of the underrated players, honestly, on the Lancers is the kicker / punter, Chris Hahn. We already mentioned he hasn't missed a single PAT this season. He's been very good on the kicks. And that punt, as we just saw, went down the field right under the 20. So good to see him in form this season.
First and 10, halfway through the first quarter right now. Looks like it's a handoff. And the ball is loose again. It's another fumble. And it's recovered by the Lancers. And they're down at the 3-yard line. Another big play by the Lancers defense.
Afoa Cadillac Tua just took that ball almost there to the end zone.
Holy moly, guacamole. That was a phenomenal play.
And Senegal again with the second fumble. It's worth noting that Senegal is the main producer on offense for the Monarchs. Yet, not even halfway in the first quarter, we see him fumble again for the Monarchs, and the Lancers are again in prime position, just 4 yards away from the end zone from the second touchdown of the game. This is crucial.
Yeah, the Lancers have to score here. Looks like they're in the same formation where they scored the touchdown on the previous play. But they run a handoff to Kingston Kiana, and he's going to get about 2 yards on that carry.
And we haven't really seen anything like this from any player that we've played so far. Senegal was on the stat sheets very, very strong. How do you guys think about this performance so far by Senegal, and how do you think it will affect the rest of the game?
Yeah, I mean, fumbling the ball, it's pretty demoralizing, and you kind of sometimes lose your focus, but we'll see. The Lancers have to score for it to really be bad. There was a whistle before the play. Looks like it was an offsides. Looks like they moved the ball up. Another offsides penalty in the red zone.
Yeah, in the same area. These are, like Rohan was saying, these mistakes, especially with that fumble, these are mistakes that they just cannot afford at this point in the game.
Yeah, here a simple quarterback sneak might work. They might just hand it off to Kingston. We'll see what they do here.
We saw Aaron Knapp have a good rush on that first drive. He's capable of running the ball himself, so we'll see what happens. 2nd and goal.
It is a handoff to Kingston, and he will score.
That was so quick by K. Nana. Honestly, smooth like butter there at the end zone. Just so elusive there. going to the linebackers like that.
And we have Chris Hahn again. Been perfect all season.
And who would have thought that the Lancers would go 14-0 just 7 minutes into this game?
Yeah, it's a great start for the Lancers. They haven't really got the lead in many first quarters. They've just been close. This is going to be good for them.
Chris Hahn, automatic as usual. And with that, the score is 14-0, Lancers to Monarchs.
I would like to mention, though, we don't really know how Lancers offense has really played, because the 2 drives that they got the touchdown has just been, I wouldn't say lucky, but they've just been like given the opportunity right next to the end zone. And I mean, at that point, it's just very easy for the offensive team in any situation to get a touchdown here. So I don't think that we can really say that the Lancers offense has been like phenomenal. I'm sure they've been good for sure because they got those 2 touchdowns, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that they are phenomenal, and concerning the fact that it's 14-0 right now. I think it's on the defense and that Chris Hahn kick that bamboozled that guy who was returning it, that got the offense the advantage.
Look, the Monarchs can come back from this still. Senezal is still on paper one of the top running backs here. And Campagna as well has shown to be a very prominent passer. Once they can get going, it's still a game, and it's just 2 scores down in the first quarter. There's a lot of time left in the game to see what the Monarchs can muster up. As we'll see on this drive, hopefully, with Chris Hahn kicking us off.
Yeah, I want to go back to what Sanjit was saying. Our defense has not been super sharp in the games before, so having good starts to the defense this game is pretty clutch.
That's a touchback there. Hopefully we'll get to see some more plays here by the Monarchs offense, given that they only really had 3 plays in the first quarter for them. They still have Senezal there in the backfield with Campagna under center there.
It's a handoff to Senezal. And the Lancers have done a great job guarding the rush this game. That is about 3 yards.
Yeah, they've been electric so far. We've already seen some key plays here from Jackson Cahoon and Afoa Tua. They're making their names known already, middle of the first quarter. And they're not afraid to get in there and get those tackles early on, head first.
Monarchs in the shotgun formation. It's another handoff to Senezal. And he is going nowhere again.
So far, all they've been doing is running Senezal, and that makes you wonder whether head coach Danny Sullivan wants to play something else. And this is the exact same question that we asked the Lancers against Helix High School. Will they use someone other than Kiana Aina? And we didn't see that until they played De La Salle the week after.
Yeah, well, it's 3rd down, so we'll answer your question right here, Sanjit. Let's see. They're going to throw the ball here on 3rd and 6. They look to be in the shotgun formation. Only 1 receiver out wide. That pass is complete. Looks like it's caught by Allard Caden again. He's just out on both sides of the field. Basically, Travis Hunter out here.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, Allard had a lot of good tackles on the defensive end, and now with that catch, got their first down of the game here for the Monarchs.
Yeah, Monarchs in a little bit of a hurry-up offense, trying to get into a rhythm here. That pass right there was incomplete, intended for Gomez Maddox.
Yeah, Maddox Gomez are number 1 for the Monarchs. Almost intercepted, too, from our angle at least, by Alatini, number 11.
play action here for the Monarchs. Looking deep. And just out of the outstretched arms of Caden Allard there. The Lancers did get beat deep there.
It's good to note that Allard has been the most productive receiver for the Monarchs this season. In 3 games, he has 6 receptions, 127 yards, a long of 50 yards, and a touchdown in just 3 games. So it's not really surprising to see him getting a lot more plays here, as we just saw.
Yeah, that play wasn't a great sign for the Lancers. I mean, getting beat deep, I mean, if he catches that pass, that could be a touchdown right there. And the Lancers have gotten beat deep a couple of times in their previous matchups, so they have to make sure that they contain these receivers.
And 3rd and long now.
2 receivers next to... The ball is out again! It's another fumble, and the Lancers look to recover again!
And that was Campania trying to slide there. He got knocked at the very end, the ball came out.
The Lancers have the ball. The refs say it's the Monarchs' ball. And that looks to be enough yardage for the first down, so... no, it is short. It is going to be 4th down. It looks like to be 4th and inches. Maybe 4th and 1.
Wow, but that's already a sign of more fumble trouble there.
Yeah, it looks like they took the quarterback off the field, so... Seems to be they're going to kick this. Not exactly sure.
Senegal's still in the backfield. I would assume this is just another play for them. 4th and 1 now. They're going to go for it.
It's a read option, and he is going nowhere. That is Jonah Croning, and he goes nowhere. It is stopped, and the Lancers are going to get the ball again with great field position.
And that is a turnover on downs there for the Monarchs. The Lancers have done it again, stopped the offense, and have good position at midfield now to maybe end this off 21-0. Who knows? By the end of the first quarter. It's all in the Lancers' hands now.
9 minutes in, they're already on their 3rd drive, 4th drive, and they're to receive it at second half too. Just keep that in mind.
I do want to note some really missed opportunities there by the Monarchs, right? We saw that missed catch by Allard there. That could have actually gone for a touchdown there. And then right after that, Campania could have gone that first down. It could be a matter of luck.
Lancers again in the I formation. Perryon Williams and Macaroka as the receiver to the outside. He's looking deep for Perryon Williams. They throw a flag. That might be for PI.
Wow. This is just another bad penalty for the Monarchs if it goes on them. They already had a couple penalties for the last 2 drives on the Lancers' end. And indeed, it's a PI.
Yeah, I think that's a 10-yard penalty. Or no, 15-yard penalty, so.
That's 3 penalties for on the Monarchs defense already, costing them huge.
Yeah, these are big mistakes right now by the Monarchs.
Scherenberg in the backfield this time.
2 receivers at the top of your screen. It looks like it's a screen pass to Perryon Williams. Another flag is going to be thrown.
Just a brutal hit on Perryon. It probably is related to that. I guess maybe a face mask or holding on that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're calling here.
But that would be the 4th penalty if it's on the Monarchs already in the first quarter of the game.
No, it looks like this penalty is on the offense. Might be a illegal blocking too far. The blocking was too far upfield. Since you're only allowed to block 1 yard in front of the line of scrimmage, they might have blocked a little too far ahead. So this will be about 2nd and 20. Or 1st and 20, my bad.
1st and 20. Would you go for just a quick pass here?
I think we're going to run the ball here. I mean, we haven't ran the ball much today. trying to control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, get Scharenberg some more carries.
Yeah, and they do have Scharenberg in the backfield. And he is stuffed. Gets a couple yards from that play. 3 yards. Whatever can get him going would be great for the Lancers offense here.
Yeah, 2nd and 16. He lost a yard there. Kiana back in the game. Let's see what the Lancers run on 2nd and long. They probably should get like half the yards back to make it a 3rd and manageable, but we'll see what they do here.
The clock is still running. Nearing the 1 minute. Last 1 minute of the first quarter. And a timeout seems to be called by the Lancers.
I think that sorry about that, but I think the penalty is exactly what the Monarchs need to kind of slow this, slow the Lancers' offense and defense, just trampling on their every attempt they try to throw at the Lancers. And so far the Monarchs have been showing good defense other than that 15-yard penalty. But this could be a turning point for the Monarchs in the game.
Yeah, they've stopped the run very well today. Our passing game, I mean, we haven't gained much yards. I mean, our 2 touchdowns have come from starting in the red zone, so the defense can't really do much. But yeah, we'll see. The Monarchs' goal right here is to hold the Lancers, hopefully hold them to not even being able to be kicking a field goal. And the Lancers, they're trying to get more points on the board and get this game to be 21-0, ending the first.
So, Sanjit, Ishan, I have a really simple question for you guys. Did we ever expect this to happen?
No, I came into the game thinking this was going to be a tight, electric game. I mean, it still is, for sure. At 14-0 in the first quarter doesn't mean much.
Kiana the back. It's a play action. Catch right there by Sione, and he's getting no yardage there also.
We have a 3rd and long now.
Yeah, Rohan, what do you expect to see here? I mean, they're going to try to get the first down, or do you try to get enough yards to get into Chris Hahn's field goal range? What do you expect?
Yeah, I'd say that the best option here is to go for some type of play action or just a deep pass. Although we haven't seen a true deep pass by the Lancers tonight. Wondering what's going to be the case here. K9 goes to the wideout section now, and he's going to probably get the handoff.
Aaron App scrambling in the pocket. Kiana moving, and they get it to him, and he's going to get a first down. It's a huge play right there by the Lancers.
And that's just a well-designed play by Calcania. Like, K9 there, it was very noticeable to go from the switch of back to just wide out there, and he got the check down option for a good number of yards. But there is a penalty, though. A holding penalty on St. Francis.
And again, another penalty for the Monarchs to kind of against the Lancers, but in favor of the Monarchs to kind of recoup themselves and give them a chance to turn this over, give it to the offense, and give them a chance to put some points on the board.
Yeah, with this being 3rd and super long, I'm expecting just a simple screen pass or a handoff, halfback draw. You don't want to do anything dumb here. Just, yeah, exactly. Halfback draw to Kingston, and he's going to get a lot of yardage here. Yeah, he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. I mean, you think Chris Hahn can make a field goal from here?
We've seen Chris Hahn do a lot of things that people have doubted before in the past, and I feel like if they do go for a kick here, I'm not sure how far it would be. It would be worth putting him there for the kick. And that would be the end of the first quarter. The Lancers had a really strong start, 14-0.
Now we're going to send it down to the sideline.
Welcome to the Sideline for the Lancer Live first quarter summary. I'm Roman.
And I'm Eric.
A brilliant start to the game for the Lancers after they fumbled directly from kickoff.
This fumble would eventually lead to Perrion Williams to catch it over Mitty's defense and score early into the first quarter.
The Lancers defense was able to hold strong on Mitty's first drive, forcing a 3-and-out.
Alex Childs.
Mitty's punter shakes the punt and ends up giving good field position for the Lancers.
But then, after an illegal pass by the quarterback Aaron Knapp, a good punt brought Mitty back to their own 1-yard line.
This would eventually lead to another fumble by Mitty, which would be picked up by Caddy Tua and then finished by Kingston Ki-9.
Mitty has been struggling to hold onto the ball, having 3 fumbles in the first 10 minutes of the first quarter.
All right, well, back to you. I'll hit the stands. Done. I wanted to go.
It's 4th and 11, and the Lancers still have the offense on the field. They are going for it. Aaron Knapp going up in the pocket, throwing deep for Perrion Williams, and it's dropped. Incomplete.
What an attempt by Perrion right there. He had the ball momentarily, but it just slipped out of his hands the very second. Great throw by Aaron Knapp as well.
Interesting decision to go for that right there. What do you say? What say you, Rohan?
I say, given that situation, it was definitely worth it. That catch was very daring, and we just saw Perrion do that in the end zone in the first quarter itself. It was just a matter of the timing which he caught that ball. But nevertheless, good attempt.
I think they realized that Monarchs would just be an average field position, and I guess why not take a shot? They're up 14-0 in the second quarter now.
Yeah, I guess that was just outside of Chris Hahn's field goal range. I would assume you would take the points there, so they were in that weird zone. We'll see what the Monarchs do here. Play action. And great hit right there by Mac Maroka, forcing it to be an incomplete pass. Braden Hightower, the intended receiver. And 2nd and 10.
I think that was Billy Hutton. Question, it was Hightower.
Second and 10 for the Monarchs. Shotgun position with a new back in the backfield. This is Kahil Buck.
And we just saw with these last 2 plays how aggressive the defense for the Lancers have been, as with the entire first quarter we just saw as well. We had a question before the game even started how this offense for the Monarchs would fare against this very strong defense compared to the other 3 teams that had played in the past. 3rd and long now.
3rd and long, 2 receivers out to his top of the screen. That pass is incomplete.
Yeah, just overthrown there to the receiver, and already it's 4th down here. And yeah, the punting team is coming out now.
That was a quick 3-and-out right there by the Lancers defense. Their defense has been fantastic today.
They show no signs of deteriorating, that's for sure, compared to last 2 weeks ago against De La Salle.
A lot of good pressures by the D-line as well that we haven't really mentioned so far in this game. So good efforts by the Lancers. And the
great
punt.
play! They get the ball again! Wow, this has been ridiculous so far. The Lancers have been everywhere on special teams today. This is just ridiculous.
And we were just saying how good the D-line was as well.
Holy moly, guacamole! That's another fantastic play by the Lancers. This is their third opportunity in a kind of similar situation where they just get the ball from the offense right next to that or near the end zone.
If anything, this game has been all about defense as well. A lot of good defensive plays that we just saw there too by some of these players.
Yeah, I want to highlight the special teams. I mean, the first play of the game, Chris Hahn with the kick, they recovered the ball, and here again, great field position inside the red zone. Offense back on the field, Aaron Knapp at QB. It's a pass out to Perryon Williams. And he looks to get about 3 or 4 yards there. Not a bad play on first down.
And we're already seeing that Perryon has gotten a lot of targets in this game. Not much for the other receivers, so it's good to see that for this emerging receiver as a sophomore on this team.
Second and 4 now for the Lancers. Let's see what they run here.
I'd like to point out some Mitty fans already leaving for some concession snacks at halftime. That kind of just shows like the ridiculousness of this game so far.
Yeah, this is unexpected to say the least. Lancers in the shotgun. We get it to Kingston. And Kingston's going right up the middle. Found the gap and shot it perfectly. Touchdown, Lancers.
Just slipped through the whole defense like butter.
And that's already the second touchdown of the game. Folks, we haven't even reached the end of the first half yet. And it's been a blowout already. 3 consecutive scores by the Lancers here to make it 20-0. And we'll see if Chris Hahn can make it 21. Turnover by turnover has become score by score here. And that kick is good.
As usual, Chris Hahn doesn't miss his extra points.
Wow, have we even really been able to see the Monarchs get a start on offense here? They had a couple of decent passing plays, or at least attempts to get the ball going, but once they stop with the downs, it's become turnover after turnover, as we just saw with that punter fumble.
Yeah, I mean, defense and special teams have come to play tonight, so the Monarchs really need to get it going. I mean, down 21-0 already. It can get rough really quickly.
And Lancers are to receive in the half. Monarchs have to make some sort of stop in this Lancer, I guess, domination period, or they're just going to get it back and run it again.
Lancers is showing why they are ranked this high over Mitty in not only just the state and WCal, but just in general past matchups too. Fair catch.
Touchback. The Monarchs will get the ball at the 20-yard line. And let's see what they can do here. They pretty much need a score on this drive right here.
The Monarchs have seen some sunlight in the offense, throwing it downfield to players like Caden Allard, who are capable of beating the corners and catching those deep passes or even mid-range passes. Let's see if they can accomplish that right now.
Yeah, Lancers should make sure they don't give up the deep ball now. I mean, this is the worst time to give up a quick touchdown or quick any yards. Big play right there by Sione. Absolutely stuffs the quarterback. And the Lancers defense has just come out to play today, man.
Not sure what thinking on that play was too. Campania just kind of like tried to edge off the side too. Wasn't that drawn of a play.
Yeah, 2nd and 13 here now for the Monarchs.
I do want to note that on these deep pass attempts, they have gotten close, but haven't really connected yet. Let's see what happens on this play.
Play action here. It's a sack. I don't know why they're running play action. I mean, I think the Lancers know that they're trying to pass the ball here, so the offense just seems in shambles right now for the Monarchs.
This is the best the defense has been this season against any team. They've completely shut down the Monarchs offense. The line's been able to put pressure. The corners have been able to do their job so far.
Usually by this point of the game, we'd be down or maybe competing in a score. But Mitty is scoreless, and we're almost at the middle of the second quarter here.
Yeah, this is a 3rd and 19. I mean, they're going to have to get a lot of yards to get this first down here. It's a quick screen pass, and this is also being blown up. I mean, that was just some fantastic defense for those 3 plays by the Lancers. Another quick 3 and out.
Just tackle for loss, and somehow it goes to 4th and 20.
They went backwards 10 yards on that drive. I mean, the Lancers defense is just playing ridiculous right now.
Everyone is eating tonight.
If the punt is blocked here,
we'll see.
Monarchs are in bad position.
This is a short
punt.
kick. It does take a Monarchs bounce, and Joey Paulson gets the ball really well with the receiving. And he is at the 38-yard line. Again, good field position for the Lancers. I mean, it seems rinse and repeat of the same thing. Lancers get good field position, they get the ball inside, and then they get a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, this is very similar to Monterey Trail, where they were just dominating that lower-ranked team. And like I said at the beginning of the game, that could be a possibility where these lower-ranked teams, the Lancers, have that confidence to just go after them, put the pressure, put the points on the board, and let's see if they can keep it up.
Fully agree. To note, actually, against Monterey Trail, Lancers were at one point 28-7 on them. This is the same type of lead that we're getting on with Mitty.
Yeah, it's a handoff to Scherenberg. He's bouncing it to the outside. A flag is on the play. This will likely be on the Lancers, I would assume. Holding on the Lancers. But we'll see. Yeah, it is on the Lancers.
We have seen a couple of holding penalties on the Lancers as of late. From both sides of the field.
7 minutes left in the quarter. I've seen St. Francis hold the ball against the LSL for over 6 minutes. If they can do that here, that's going to put them in fantastic position for that second half.
Yeah, it's 1st and 20 here, so you want to get a first down here, and after that, kill time, as Sanjeet was saying. Play action, looking deep. Looking for Perrion Williams, and
wow, and Perrion had a risky fall there after that. Let's hope he's all right there. But Aaron Knapp is showing the razzle-dazzle that he's always tried to put on with these deep pass attempts. He almost had Perrion there as well.
yeah,
And
the
once again,
Lancers
Perrion had another attempt in general. He's been getting a lot of these targets.
the Lancers are throwing it deep this game. I mean, it's probably smart. They're getting the defense to respect the deep pass, and that will allow for better runs later on in the game. So, great strategy today for the Lancers.
Yeah, and as Sanjeet said, they're showing confidence. Second down.
This time they do a handoff, and Andrew Scherenberg slips and gets back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 20 here.
I would hope for just another deep pass by Aaron Knapp there. I feel like he's actually been pretty good on these attempts.
Yeah, we might just do a simple draw play or wide receiver screen. I don't think they'll do anything crazy here.
I'd like to point out the Monarchs defense has been figuring it out a little bit. This drive, they've been able to limit what the Lancers have been able to do.
Yeah, whenever the Lancers go backwards with penalties, it costs them. They aren't able to get into their regular offense. Aaron Knapp is going to throw. It is complete to
Alatini.
I'm assuming this is not Chris Hahn range.
Unfortunately not, unless they
And
go
yeah,
for a
like
fourth down.
and like Ishan was saying, that's that kind of weird zone. Looks like they're putting their offense, or their offense is staying, and they're gonna try to throw a little 10-yard plus pass here.
One of the key contributors on defense, actually, for the Monarchs that we haven't talked about as much is number 8, Salih Talon. And, Talon Salih. And, like we said, he had 16 tackles, which leads their team on the defensive end for the Monarchs. So, he's showing, again, a lot on their side as they try to, like, warm up here.
Yeah, last time on fourth down in this area, they did not get it, but they were able to force a 3-and-out and immediately get the ball right back. So, we'll see what they run here. They do have to get the first down. I mean, nothing shorter. Looks like it's a timeout. St. Francis is calling their second timeout of the quarter or the half.
They did throw this one to Perryon Williams last time. Almost caught, even with like pretty good coverage from the Monarchs. What do you think they're gonna do here? What are we thinking?
Yeah, I think they might do another fade route to either Perryon Williams. We haven't seen much of Mac Maroka, so maybe he gets in the action today.
The worst that happens is that you get a turnover on downs, which is all right because Mitty hasn't seemed to really capitalize on where they are on the field. So, and even then, they're behind midfield, so it's still a long drive for them at the end of the day.
And if Mitty has a stop here, they have plenty of time to put some points on the board. Honestly, what the Mitty should do, just take it slow and bring the ball down the field and at least get 3 on the board.
Yeah, the Lancers got 4 receivers in this play right here with Kingston in the backfield. Kingston's going out wide, and they are going to throw to him. Makes a man miss, but he looks like he's going to be 2 yards short of the first down marker. Turnover on downs, and the Monarchs will get the ball with good field position. But as Rohan was saying, they weren't able to capitalize on this field position last time, so we'll see.
Good attempt by the Lancers there. Just a couple yards short, but really good play attempt there. Yeah.
The defense has done their job here for the Monarchs, and so far the offense has not at all. We've seen some glimmer of hope, but that glimmer of hope is definitely not enough to do anything against this Lancer defense.
Yeah, the Lancers defense has been fantastic. I mean, people are flying around everywhere. They are not able to get even positive yardage so far. I mean, last drive they went backwards 10 yards. Looks like they're putting more guys in for blocking just to like keep our D linemen. They are going to hand it off. And again, they are going backwards. I mean,
Senezo had 310 yards in 2 games. I don't know how much he has this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's those 3 teams they played, 300th in the state, 330th in the state. I guess those like 150 yards per game doesn't mean much when you're playing against a team that's ranked 73rd and has played against teams that are ranked top 20 and know what's up.
Exactly. We're seeing a timeout called now.
I'd like to point out Mac Maroka this game. Not on offense this time, but on defense. Just this play, he was able to stop Senezel from getting any yardage. I think they went even back 1. And so far, back 2 actually. And a play previously when he disallowed a receiver from getting a crucial first down. And so far, it's been opposite for him. He's been doing well on defense. We haven't seen much of him on offense, but overall, he's a great player.
Yeah, Maroka had kind of been a very weak link on the safety position, but he flipped it around this game for sure.
yeah, 2nd and 12 for the Monarchs here. I mean, their goal should be to just get some positive yardage at this point, man. They've just gone backwards. The Lancers have basically figured out everything they're doing. We'll see what they do here. They got 2 receivers at the top.
Low snap.
Oh, shit. That is
And that's
Maddox
touchdown.
Gomez on the reception, and he gets his touchdown right there. The Lancers got deep right there on a looked like a 10-yard in route.
This is exactly what the Monarchs need right now. 7 points on the board, going into the half where the Lancers received. This is exactly what the Monarchs needed and wanted, and I think if they capitalize on this, this could be a turning point for the Monarchs.
And we were saying Campania had a lot of good deep pass attempts, but they were just blocked by the safeties on the ends. He finally got his connection there to Gomez, and what a touchdown, what a play, and this is the energy that they need before the first half ends. That's Nate Malone there for the kick. We haven't seen him hit the PAT this game. And he misses.
That's his 3rd miss of the season this year.
Even when they're able to score, they still fare bad luck on that last end.
Yeah, Lancers got the ball up 21-6. The Lancers right here just need to take the entire half to finish this drive, get 3 points, 7, really doesn't matter here. Just make sure the Monarchs don't get the ball. And the Monarchs, they want to make sure they get a 3 and out and get the ball right back so that they can put the ball in the end zone again.
Yeah, regardless of that missed attempt on that extra point, I think that glimmer of, the Lancers coverage was pretty poor. Number 15, Joseph Paul Pear. But regardless, I think Monarchs, this is going to give them something to put them back in the game.
Yeah, it gives them some life going into halftime. If anything, being down 21-0, they have some points on the board. It's only a 2-score game. Those games can switch. The game can switch really quickly.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Lancers try to redeem this towards the end of the first half now. It is worth noting again that all the 21 points scored by the Lancers were caused by these defensive opportunities and just bad plays. So in contrast, these 6 points by the Monarchs are a good, just a good answer.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be offsides on the Monarchs. They're gonna have to back it up 5 yards. Or actually, they're backing it up 10 yards.
That is Campania's 6th touchdown, by the way, of the season. He is on fire as a quarterback.
They're squib kicking it here. And the Lancers need to get on the ball. And they seem to have gotten under the ball. Special teams has been very big in this game, very crucial, and Lancers saved themselves right there.
Yeah, if that had gone to the Monarchs, who knows? That would have been even more momentum to add on to their scoring rush here. It's a good thing that Lancers kept that ball and are not going to keep this for this possession.
I think
The
this
last
is
thing that the Lancers need right now is some turnover that's going to cause them to go down a score. So,
Yeah, we're expecting a lot of Kingston Kiana on this drive. I formation again for the Lancers. They hand it off to Kingston, and he breaks through the middle and gets about 8 yards. Pretty good run on first down.
Kingston McCaffrey right there. Just getting the yards after catch or yards after hurry. It's insane how he's able to just stand his ground. And he just muscled his way there. Got 7 yards.
Second and 3 here. This is exactly where the Lancers want to be. Just keep running the clock, keep running the ball, short passes, whatever they really want. looking to throw deep. Aaron Knapp looks like he's going to run it himself. He gets the first down.
And we already saw that he's capable of running the ball himself when he needs to, and he found the pocket there and got the first down. This is the type of aggressiveness that the Lancers have to really embrace if they want to try to gain a higher lead over the Monarchs.
Lancers in no rush to get this play started. And that they know what they're doing. They've done it for over 6 minutes. They can do it for 2 minutes and 40.
I formation. Scherenberg is the back in the backfield. Play action. Looking deep. Yeah, Aaron Knapp just throws it away there. There was great coverage by the Monarchs.
We hadn't seen much pressure on the defense on Aaron Knapp as of late, so now it's showing that they're getting a good warm up here, and they're actually finding the pockets here in the O-line to get to Knapp.
Yes, on G, we're talking about how they're going to kill time. Are you surprised they threw it there instead of running the ball?
Yeah, but I mean, 2nd and 10. Lancers have gotten first down on some incredible third and longs. I'm not really worried about what the Lancers can do to kill time here.
2nd down.
It's a screen pass to Perryon Williams, and he gets about 3 yards there. He does step out of bounds, so the clock will not continue.
Yeah, smart play there by Perryon, unless they wanted to keep the clock.
Correction, that was a not smart play because they want to kill time. But 3rd and 7, I introduced this kind of topic in the beginning of the game. 3rd and 5, 6, 7, they know what they're doing. Whether it's a pass or a run. Let's see if we see that here, though.
Yeah, I formation again. The Lancers love being in the eye. To play action. Aaron Knapp in the pocket, just maneuvering his way in the pocket. Wow, what a play! And he's still going, and he gets the first down! What a play by Aaron Knapp!
I mean, Aaron Knapp calling Lamar Jackson for that. Just went to the pocket, slipped through those linebackers, and just got it himself. He really got that dog in him. He had 2 important rushes, one this half and one this quarter, one the last quarter too. He really shows his versatility. But there is a flag.
Sadly, that play will not stand. It looks like there was a flag on the Lancers.
3rd and 11. 3rd and 12.
Looks to be about 3rd and 12 now.
And Lancers have slowly been getting more penalties here. I'm not sure if that's really what they need right now, but that's probably their 4th or 5th already in the first half.
I mean, it's still 3rd down, though. And like I said, 3rd downs for St. Francis have been good so far.
It just checked on pass to K9 here, or just another deep pass attempt by Knapp?
I mean, I think they're going to go deep. They've gone deep on pretty much all these 3rd and longs, so we'll see.
Two minutes for left on the clock in this half. Even if there's 1 minute 30 left for the Monarchs to run their offense, it's definitely plenty of time if they're able to capitalize on those deep passes down to the end zone.
So a quick question to the two of you guys. Even though it's 21-6 and Lancers have shown a lot of aggressiveness on the offense and defense, would you guys still consider this to be a close game?
I mean, it's a 2-score game. The Lancers do have the ball. I mean, it all depends on what happens to end this half. I mean, if the Lancers score here, this game could be over. But if the Monarchs get a stop, I mean, they get the ball back with about 1:40 left. I mean, that's enough time to score. Looks like it's a draw play to Scherenberg. Oh, and he gets hit by his own player and goes backwards. Oh, whoa, there's a flag.
What a wild play there.
That was completely unnecessary from the Monarchs. This is exactly what they should not have done. They got a good stop. and he just, I don't know what that was. Just pushed
Yeah.
him down.
And that was Toji Meku on the aggressive there. Another key player for the Monarchs in their season so far. Some discussion with the refs here.
Yeah, I mean, Toju's been great on defense in the last 3 games. And as a good defensive player, that should have been something that went through his mind. That
It is a personal foul on the Monarchs, and that will be an automatic first down and a 15-yard penalty. I mean, that is just a really dumb play right there by the Monarchs. I mean, it was unnecessary. You got to stop there. You would have gotten the ball back. Instead, you're giving the Lancers great field position, the ball, a new set of downs. I mean, just the worst case scenario.
Yeah, if anything, this whole game has been decided on penalties so far. And that one is a good example of that.
yeah, a lot of boos coming from this away crowd. The student section, the parents not happy. But I mean, there's nothing to not be happy about because that was clearly very unnecessary.
Past midfield now.
Looks like the Monarchs are coming on a blitz here. Aaron Knapp evading pressure. And he throws. Oh, and it's dropped.
By Joey Paulson there.
Aaron Knapp has done a great job evading the pressure in this game so far. I mean, he's not taking any sacks. He's getting out of the pocket, moving really well. Moving well in the pocket. I mean, he's just playing a great game so far.
Exactly. Calm, whatever, but he's stood his ground firmly and hasn't really shown much pressure from the D-line there from the Monarchs. No loss of yards there.
2nd and 10 for the Lancers. Kingston's the back in the backfield. 4 receivers going out. Aaron Knapp looks like he slipped, and he's running. He's going to run for it. He slides. He looks like he got about 7 yards on that play.
And Mitty was arguing that he was already down before that.
No, but he has to be touched.
They're going to rush this play to make sure they evade that. 3rd and 2 now.
I think they're saying illegal man upfield. Aaron Knapp again in the pocket. He falls down again.
Man, what's up with all this slipping?
Yeah, there's something got to be wrong with the turf out here, man.
That's
I
like
don't know what's going on.
3 slips. I was walking by in the afternoon. I saw someone watering the field. That was, maybe it's that.
We saw slips from the fumbles as well. It's a very common theme as well that we haven't really talked about. And the turf is a big example of how a lot of plays can just swing between teams.
So, guys, do you think the Lancers are going to go for it here? I mean, in this area, they've never really punted the ball. Obviously not in kicking area for a Chris Hahn field goal. What do you think they do here?
The issue is they could pass and they could go for it, but if they miss, they should be worried that the offense for the Monarchs has already shown some promise here. On that last attempt, they were behind midfield, that 60-yard touchdown pass. So we'll see what happens, but take with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to kick the ball away. Smart decision here. You don't want to give the Monarchs any great field position. Hopefully, Chris Hahn can pin them deep. And for the Monarchs, you get the ball with about 1 minute and 17 seconds. That's enough time to get some points on the board and get into halftime, making this lead a lot smaller. High kick by Chris Hahn. Takes a Monarchs bounce, and the Lancers are going to down it at around the 17-yard line.
And we had already had this question and discussion that, is this a close game or not? We'll see now on this last-minute drive, but if they get within 1 score of the Lancers, the Monarchs have a chance to keep this a close game for the second half.
Yeah, Monarchs in the shotgun position. They're going to hand it off. Looks like he got about 6 yards there. That was A.J. Sendenzal. They're going to throw a flag. Might be unnecessary roughness on the Lancers here.
And Alatini, or was it?
That was.
Yeah, it was Alatini there. He might have taunted a little too much on Senezel there. A lot of penalties in this game, without question. This is an intense rivalry.
Yeah, this will likely be a 15-yard penalty. I mean, the Lancers cannot be giving out 15 yards like this. I mean, they're not even working for these 15 yards. It's just free.
This, I mean, like, we logically think about it, this just happened. And even if you're not on the team that suffered the penalty, you would think, man, this is something no one can do or afford. Yet, I guess it happens again. But regardless, Chase Cahoon with an insane tackle.
Yeah, as Rowan is saying, this game has been decided by a lot of penalties, and penalties have been crucial, and just making sure you don't break any of the rules is very important. So it's 1st and 10 for the Monarchs at about the 35. It's a full-on zero blitz here. Oh, it was a perfect play, a screen pass.
And that's Ethan McCombie there. Good power play there.
That was a perfect call right there by the Monarchs. The Lancers did a zero blitz, and they ran a screen. I mean, you can't call a better play to counteract that defensive play. Monarchs in a little bit of a hurry up, looking deep. That looks like it's PI. It is PI.
What a catch of Toji Meku on 2 corners there. And in just 2 plays. In just 2 plays, Mitty gets to within the 20-yard line. Wow. This is threatening to the Lancers score here. We saw the deep pass connection to Gomez in that last drive. This is exactly what they're trying to imitate here with those 2 plays already.
Yeah, and the Monarchs have 37 seconds to get the ball in the end zone here. I mean, time wasn't an issue at all for them. The clock is going to be running.
And Toji Meku, he has had a lot of aggression on defense and offense. It's good to note that power play there on offense just only adds to his resume this season.
A little confusion here. They started the clock, and looks like they might have stopped the clock. Might be a timeout called by the Monarchs here. Seemed like they want to save some time.
I want to say something about the defense here for the Lancers. That, I mean, they came out strong. They hit them in the mouth coming in 1.5 quarters in, and now it's looking a little slim. They gave up some. I mean, obviously that's great offense great call by the coach, and great offense execution by the Monarchs offense. But considering how hard the Lancers came in, this is how they're playing isn't too great.
Yes, Sanji, as you were saying previously, I mean, in second halves of these games, the Lancers defense has not been as sharp as they were in the first half, and we're seeing it a little bit earlier here with these big plays coming in at the end of the half. Let's hope they can get a stop here and force the Monarchs to only get 3.
However, I guess we can't say much because of that penalty, but there's definitely some sort of hint of that right now.
Yeah, it looks like they put another 5 seconds back on the clock. So there'll be 37 seconds left for the Monarchs. It's 1st and 10 at about the 15-yard line.
These last 37 seconds are going to matter a lot for how the rest of the game will play out.
Joey Campagna looking, and he finds his man. It's a touchdown. Caden Allard with the catch.
And they made that play look very, very simple. Just quick cover, slant right. And in a matter of seconds, this game has become very close already. 21-12.
Let's see if this kicker can make it here, because every single point, if the game comes this close, every single point counts, and he has to make this. Number 19, Nate Malone.
He missed his last PAT.
This one is good, and it remains or it will become a one-score game. 30 seconds left in this half.
I want to quickly note that on the last 2 drives where Mitty was able to score a touchdown, it happened in a matter of plays. This last shot was just 3 or 4 plays, and the one before was just a couple plays. This is really, really threatening to the Lancers here.
Yeah, these big chunk plays have been really costing the Lancers. I mean, they're able to do some good coverage in when they're not going deep, but the second they go deep, they get beat deep, and Joey Capani with time is able to connect with the receivers. The Lancers have to figure out how to guard them going deep.
I also want to note that they've relied a lot more on passing attack than rushing. We were hyping up San Jose a little too much at the beginning, but they've really been relying more on Campania, Allard, and other receivers to get the ball rolling here. So, eye out for the safeties on the Lancers defense as well to see if they can guard. And this has become a game.
Yeah, expecting a squib kick here. Hopefully the Lancers can recover this squib kick better than they did previously. It is a squib kick. Scherenberg picks it up, and he's gonna get through the middle, and he gets to the 50-yard line.
And that X factor, as Rohan was talking about, he was able to slip in like butter and go through the defense, get them a, I guess, good field position. However, they do only have 24 seconds left.
Yeah, with 24 seconds left, I mean, you need about, I would say, 30 yards, maybe 25 yards to get into Chris Hahn field goal range. I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, 2 out routes will get you that, so we'll see what they do here.
It all rests in these 2 or 3 plays we have left in the half. So, first down at the midfield.
Kingston is able to catch the ball. Is he able to get out of bounds?
The clock's still running down.
Nope, it looks like he did get out of bounds, so good job by Kingston right there to make sure he got out of bounds.
Not sure how many yards they really got there. Might have been 6 or 7.
Yeah, right here. I mean, that play took about half the clock, so we'll see what they can do here. I mean, with only 12 seconds, you're going to need to run a very quick out route to get out of bounds. Play action. Aaron Knapp looking deep. He's got a man. It's incomplete. He was looking for Joey Paulson.
And that's great coverage by Adam Carrera. Able to see that the ball was coming in. Joey Paulson did not know he was behind him. And he was able to stop that ball right out of his hands.
Yeah, expecting the same thing again here on 3rd down and 3. I mean, really doesn't really matter. The time is what they're fighting. And with 4 seconds left, expect a Hail Mary to throw to the end zone. Hopefully we can get what the Broncos got. Some good luck.
And corners for the other teams against the Lancers have been really crucial in securing some potential scores. We had Rubocaba for Helix in the first game for the Lancers, and Dean had some really good passing deflections for DLS against Lancers, and we see the same here with Carrera.
Looks like there was a penalty on that previous play. We're going to run a draw. Don't know why we did that. I mean, I would have just taken a shot at the end zone. That's the end of the half. Lancers are up 21-13.
And this game is looking dangerously close to that playoff game where the Lancers took the lead. They were 2 drives up in that ending part of the game, but the Monarchs were able to capitalize on just 2 drives. And they're coming back. That's for sure.
I don't expect to see any more fumbles or plays like that unless we have good aggression on defense. So the offense has to step up for the Lancers, and Mitty's on a roll. 13 unanswered points.
Yeah, the Monarchs have seemed to figure out what it is they're doing. And we're going to send it down to the sideline.
Waiting for clearance.
Cool. What's up, Lancer Live, and welcome to the sidelines here at Rockout Conyo Stadium. This night has been an amazing night for football. The energy from the Rage Cage and the pride and push from the players has been fantastic. The current score is 21 to 30, and to their up. Please welcome.
Into the second half. Rage Cage, Sheer, and Palm is going out there.
Let's go!
Let's go.
We're live streaming on Lancer. Yeah.
How you doing, Lancer Live?
You should subscribe. You should.
Yeah, you should. And tell everybody that you know to subscribe.
Yeah.
You should go say hi to Kyle.
Who is that? Face him.
Hey guys, how you doing?